What I'm hoping to do today is just share some of my story and some of the experiences that I've had during some troublesome time and some of the lessons that I learned. I joined EO in 1995, and I didn't know what it was, and somebody said, this is a really cool entrepreneur group and you ought to think about joining. So, well, that sounds pretty good. I'm an entrepreneur. I had a business and I'm just at the beginning of another one. Somebody said there's a university in Barbados. I said, well, that sounds like fun. And so I hadn't even been to an event yet, like this one, got on a plane with my girlfriend and ended up in Barbados and got completely hooked. Then I got well engaged. Later that year, EO has had a program called the Birthing a Giants program. It's now rebranded as the EMP, Entrepreneurial's Master Program. MIT, you go there for 3 years. That program was awesome. It had us focus on what was important in our business at the time. So when I joined that program in 1996, my revenues were $2 million. When I graduated from the program's only 5 days a year, 5 consecutive days a year. When I graduated 3 years later, my revenues were $24 million. I don't want to give all the credit to the Birthing a Giants program, but I got to give it some because it had me focus on the things that really mattered. And most of us here are entrepreneurs, as I saw a moment ago, and most of us are pretty good at developing 1 year, 3 year, and some of us even 5 year strategic plans. However, our challenge comes when we're faced with planning for the unplanned events, the events that catch us by surprise and have a potentially disastrous consequence. I started my first business at 19. And I didn't start it because I wanted to. I started it because I had to. My father had this business. It was called Moses Menswear. We grew up in this little mining town 5 hours north of Toronto called Sudbury. And he sold clothing, and mostly to the folks that worked in the mines. During some very tough economic times, my father went bankrupt in my last year of high school. I wanted to go to college and didn't have any money to do that. And in the town I grew up in, most people didn't go away to college. They went to the local community college. But I really wanted to go. So I saw this sign in the Career Center that said, be your own boss. Earn $5,000 to $15,000 in the summer. At 19, I said, that sounds like me. What am I going to be doing? So I started my own student painting business. Hired a bunch of students. We painted homes. And in my first summer, I made $18,000. Thought that was pretty cool. At the time, it only cost me about $5,000 a year to go to college, all in. I know it's changed a little now. My second summer, I made $35,000 at 20. I thought this was really, really cool. And anyway, I went on, I graduated from college, moved from Canada to California, built 250 branches in 4 years, and then sold the company. I had a total of 3,000 employees at the time. I sold it when I was 26. What I've learned over the years is no matter how much experience we have or how successful we are, unplanned events can and do occur, and they can take you right out of your game. Personally, I've weathered a number of them. And as I'm going through those events, what I found is they test my confidence. They test my leadership. They test my self-esteem. They've affected my ability to care for my employees and at times the ability to care for my family. So what we're going to do here today is I'm going to share with you my story and some of the extraordinary events that have happened to me, and not only how I bounced back from these events, but the lessons I learned when I went through them. My goal for you for today is for you to just get one idea, one or two, that you can take back to your business that can make a difference in your world. So it was October 1996. Jacques and I We're best friends. And I want to tell you the story about when he came in one day and announced he was leaving the company. We met over a business deal several years earlier. When his company failed, he was the CFO and president of a real estate company. When it failed, he was really effective in getting me my money back. He and I became good friends. And we had a ball together. Two Canadians, single, living in Newport Beach, California. Life was really good. As a matter of fact, we both met our wives on blind dates, 2 days apart from each other. Pretty cool. He was in my wedding, I was in his, our wives were in each other's weddings. And when his business failed, he needed a job. So I gave him a job in my company. We set up this division. The division grew from 0 in January 1996. By September of 1996, we were making $200,000 net profit per month. Wow, that was pretty cool. I had visions of seeing, we're going to make $500,000 a month, $700,000 a month, $1 million a month. What a cool business. This was in the mortgage business, my second company. We're having a ball. When I got married, Jacques was there. He was my best man. Said wonderful things at the wedding. Then one day I came in and he announced he was leaving the company. So what do you mean you're leaving the company? You got 30% of the deal. We're making $200,000 a month. We got grand visions of building something awesome. What do you mean? I don't get it. You were just in my house last night. We had wine, French wine for Jacques. Great dinner. I don't get it. So Mark, I got a dream job on Wall Street and I have to take it. That doesn't make any sense to me. I said, Mark, it's something I really got to do. I know we're best friends, but I got to leave and I got to do it. So he left, and 2 weeks later, he opened up 2 blocks away, took 85% of my employees with him. I just spent $400,000 on a direct mail marketing campaign. So picture my phones ringing like crazy. He took almost all the salespeople with him. He took all the receptionists, he took all the accountants, and even the IT guy. I was left with a few salespeople. Most of them were pretty new, and most of them were pretty crappy. Additionally, I just signed a lease to move from our 6,000 square foot space to move into a 25,000 square foot space with 12 people. Picture, I don't know how many square feet this room is, but it doesn't look as big as one of my 3 8,000 square foot rooms. And in room number 1, there was 80 cubes. So picture 12 people moving in and laughing, going, what are we doing with all this space? But I already signed a lease, personally guaranteed it, and I had to move into it. So, Wall Street Journal. Front page of the Wall Street Journal, in the little box on the front page, they had the little headline about us. And if you flip to the front page of the California section, there was this story. Here's Jacques and I smoking cigars at my bachelor party in Las Vegas, and the story was all about our feud. And it went on for a page and a half. What a mess. It was really disheartening and really disappointing. And I was really hurt. And he had all our people, and we were just about broke. Picture spending all that money. And you're always, as entrepreneurs, we're always spending ahead of the money that we get. So that to me was an absolute wipeout.